relatives of 35-year-old Victor Bustos, who was killed during protests that erupted after Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro won a disputed re-election, say that Bustos, a father of three, was shot dead by the police. Bustos is one of at least 16 people who have been killed protesting the election result, while fears are rising over those who have been detained during these demonstrations. Meanwhile, the government says 749 criminals had been arrested at protests and faced charges of resisting authority or, in the most serious cases, they say, terrorism. The world's democracies have almost unanimously condemned the results of Venezuela's presidential election and called for a transparent vote count to confirm what the opposition says was its landslide victory over President Nicolás Maduro. Maduro slammed the United States and billionaire Elon Musk during a press conference at the presidential palace. He said people were alarmed by what they saw on all the social networks and all the social networks that Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and TikTok had set up to spread violence. Maduro called Musk to come and fight in Venezuela. Musk, being Musk, tweeted, "I'm coming for you, Maduro. I will carry you to Gitmo on a donkey." Two of Maduro's closest allies, the leftist presidents of Brazil and Colombia, have recently joined a chorus of nations, including the US, that have expressed deep concerns about Sunday's presidential election, which Venezuelan electoral authorities said the president won by 7 points. Maduro, however, has so far only dug in, claiming victory, jailing opponents, and threatening to arrest his rival, Edmundo González. The opposition says González trounced the self-proclaimed socialist leader at the ballot box by more than 2-1 margin. The problem is the country is in a death spiral and there's no chance the economy will be able to recover without the legitimacy that comes from a fair election. So as the electoral standoff moves into unchartered territory, here are some of Maduro's options. First is to redo the elections. The window for Maduro to back down is narrowing with every hour. The National Electoral Council has already proclaimed him the official winner. If he does rethink his future, options range from resigning the presidency to ordering a redo of the elections with international observers present to assure the vote has more credibility. Any such development could arise only from intense negotiations with the opposition and the United States about a power-sharing arrangement and protection from prosecution for Maduro and his allies. But so far, Maduro has only doubled down. His government says it has arrested 700 people who are tied to these violence which started after the elections. But it's not easy for Maduro to just walk away. One major obstacle is that Maduro has much to lose from any political transition. He's facing an investigation for human rights abuses at the International Criminal Court over the crackdown on anti-government protests in 2014 and 2017. Meanwhile, the US has offered a $15 million bounty for his arrest on drug trafficking charges. Even if Maduro was willing to step aside, many of his allies, including the top military command, face criminal charges of their own and may limit any deal making. But all is not lost for him as he gets foreign support. Brazilian President Lula da Silva has been out front seeking a de-escalation of the conflict, recognizing what's at stake not just for the ruling elite but the 29 million Venezuelans in the country. Other leftists that have tried to appeal to Maduro include President Gustavo Petro of Colombia, which has commercial interests with its neighbors, and Pablo Iglesias, one of the founders of the Spanish political party Podemos, a close ally of Maduro. However, the country with the real leverage is the United States. Since Maduro's last election, the US has piled on a number of punishing oil sanctions, closed its embassy in the capital city, and indicted Maduro and several of his top aides. For more than a year, the Biden administration has slowly been walking back the so-called maximum pressure campaign in the hope that Maduro would open up more political space. Although the Biden administration has called for a thorough audit so Venezuelans can have confidence in the results, it has so far avoided accusing the government of outright fraud and declaring Maduro's victory illegitimate. But threats to arrest González and his main backer, the opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, may force the US to throw off the last bit of restraint. Maduro has been at the helm of the once wealthy, oil-rich country since 2013, presiding over a GDP drop of 80% that pushed more than 7 million of Venezuela's 30 million citizens to migrate out, many to the United States, a drop that was largely caused by the sanctions imposed by US. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comment section, and for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.